morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's come to order. Be seated. We're going to start to our banquet. I am really deeply honored by your presence. And before we get started, I would like to say something so Madame Laham and Madame Hebri can start doing their business. Our organization is going to be raffling a water pipe, a shisha over here to my left. شو بتسموها غليون أبو علي؟ أرجيلة. أرجيلة. إحنا في تونس بنسميها شيشة. معلش يا سيدي. وفي مصر كمان بيسموها شيشة. فبتقول غليون الليلة. Water pipe. And it's not going to be used for hubbly bubbly or whatever you call it. We will also be raffling a barnouz or abaya. Madame Hebri, would you please? This is the abaya which Madame Hebri is going to model for you.
All right.
We will also be modeling a dress. We will also be raffling this dress, and you buy one chance for $1. And believe me, it's going to a very good cause. So buy a lot from them. Madame Hebri, would you like to bring your team here so the people can see them? And ladies and gentlemen, when these ladies, these nice, fine ladies, come by your table, please be generous and buy lots of tickets so you can win one of them, okay? And this is the dress. This is the dress. Okay, let's come to order. I would like to introduce to you tonight the people that have made it possible for this banquet to happen. Mr. Salah Diab. Salah, where are you? He's outside. Can somebody please get Salah for me? Salah Diab, would you please? Dr. Nadi Al-Hebri. السيد فرح حيفا. فرح حيفا. السيد جمال حمودة. جمال. مستر حسين خليل. Mr. Hussam Omar. Hussam. Ladies and gentlemen, please give this nice man a good hand. They made it possible. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Clovis Maksoud. You know, President Bush talks about the 1,000 points of light. I see 200 of them here in San Antonio. He's going to have a hard time finding the other 750. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I prepared a speech tonight on behalf of our national organization or national office in Washington, D.C. Mr. Ambassador, honored guests, dear brothers and sisters, we have come together precisely because we are a community. We are a family of some sort. We have worked long and hard during these past 10 years to build this American Arab community. Just 2 decades ago, we did not exist on the social and political map of America. And as we grow and become increasingly larger, we will earn and gain the respect we deserve, and we will also have an impact on the policies of our country. As we grow, we have won many victories. We have defeated instances of stereotyping and racism. Along the way, Arab Americans have gained the election of 14 mayors, 31 state elected officials, and more than 200 local and party elected officials. Arab Americans are proud of the fact that our Chief of Staff at the White House, Mr. John Sununu, is an Arab American. Mr. George Mitchell, the Majority Leader at the Senate, another Arab American. Tiffany, Paula Abdul, Casey Qasim, just look around you here in San Antonio. The Karens, the Marys, and many others. Arab Americans today serve in all sectors of our community. There is educators at Trinity University, at UTSA, medical doctors, researchers, and poets. It makes me proud to belong. Our goals and objectives are clear. Would you please hold these children down? We thought not children were supposed to be here. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Our goals and objectives are clear. We support statehood and self-determination for Palestine. We support independence and sovereignty for a unified Lebanon. We support the political empowerment of Arab Americans in the communities we live in. And we demand respect for our common culture, our personhood, and our history. And that is why ADC will always stand watch over our rights. Dear brothers and sisters, these goals are achievable. Yes, they are. They will not come easy, though. It takes your efforts and mine in order to get them. I urge all of you, and I challenge each one of you to champion these goals. Let us not forget that it is our constitutional right to speak out for ourselves and for each other. I often tell my friends that I am proud to be an Arab American. And I'm not ashamed of it either. We are Americans, and we have an edge over many others because we are Americans by choice. After all, nobody dragged us here, and nobody invited us here. We came here for various reasons and purposes, and what brought us here is the American dream. So, let's live up to it. Let's uphold the great Constitution of our great adoptive home. If we see wrong, let's correct it. And if we see injustice, let's fight it. Our countries of origin are in a turmoil today. The Middle East is a powder keg. Our message to President Bush is to please apply patience and keep all doors open to negotiations. Bloodshed on either side is horrible. Mr. Bush, if you are serious, let's stop the double standard politics we've been applying, whatever our government motives are in the Middle East. We have witnessed a flip-flop in our foreign policy from Southeast Asia to South America and in the Middle East. I say, let the United Nations do its job. America is not to police the world. Let's bring those brave boys and girls home, Mr. Bush. Let us give a chance to the Arab League to maneuver its way through, and let us not be part of its obstacles. I am deeply saddened to see an Arab country invade another, but I believe that it should be left to them and the Arab League to work those differences. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you agree with me or not, I urge you to write your representatives, call them, go see them, let them know how you feel. I do it, and so can you, each and every one of you. I trust that we will emerge stronger from this crisis. We will not allow it to tear our Arab world apart. By coming together here in San Antonio, I believe we will be a stronger and more powerful community. Let us come together, not only as Arabs. I say, let us come together as Americans to build the gentle nation our president talks about. Let us make America an ocean of peace and harmony for all the world to follow. Let's come together for the sake of mankind and humanity, and may love and peace prevail on earth. Thank you. And now, for those of us who do not understand English, I tried very hard to do an Arabic translation. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. حضرة جناب السفير السيد مقصود، ضيوفنا الكرام، أخي العربي، أختي العربية، أريد أن أغتنم هذه الفرصة للترحيب بكم في حفلنا السنوي للجمعية الأمريكية لمكافحة التمييز. في الحقيقة أنا عاجز عن التعبير لما يخالجني في صدري من فرح وامتنان لتجمعنا هذا، ولكن في نفس الوقت يحز في نفسي حزن عميق عندما أتذكر إخواننا في فلسطين المحتلة وفي لبنان الجريحة. بلادنا العربية تعاني اليوم وتجابه أخطارا لم يكن لها مثيل في الماضي. صحيح أن حصار الشقيق والصديق أمر مؤلم، فإن الحوادث اليوم في خليجنا العربي لا تخدم إلا مصالح إسرائيل الجاثمة فوق الأراضي العربية في الجولان، في فلسطين وفي لبنان. إن الحرص على المصير العربي وعلى خارطة الوطن العربي يتطلب منا أبناء أمتنا العربية المخلصين بذل كل ما فينا من طاقة وجهد لمعالجة الأزمة الراهنة التي يتعاون فيها أعداؤنا على تقسيم أمتنا وتشتيت شملنا. يريد الغرب أن يجعل منا مهزلة. طعنوا في الإسلام وطعنوا في مسيحيتنا، هدموا لبنان الحبيبة ودمروا فلسطين، وها هم اليوم يركضون نحو الخليج لتدمير العراق والسعودية الحبيبة. أهل يركض دول الغرب للدفاع عن العرب أم هم يركضون كالمجانين لحماية النفط؟ نسي الغرب أننا إخوة، نسي الغرب عروبتنا، ونسي الغرب قوميتنا، فغضب الأخ عن أخيه متوج بالسماح. إن قيادتنا العربية وجامعتنا العربية تبذل كل الجهود لمعالجة الأزمة في الخليج ضمن الإطار العربي وبعيداً عن التدخل الأجنبي. فسوف لا يرضى أي عربي بسوء يمس أخاه العربي. إني أجد نفسي أتألم مع أخي في فلسطين، وأخي السعودي يتألم لأخاه في العراق وعكس ذلك. فما هذه إلا مرحلة مؤلمة في تاريخ بلادنا. أقول لكم إخواني، أقول لك أخي، لا تحزن، لا تحزن أخي العربي، ولا تحزني أختي العربية. لقد مرت بلادنا بمراحل عديدة عبر التاريخ ولا زلنا صامدين. فسوف لا نترك قلوبنا تتشتت، وسوف يعانق العراقي أخاه في الخليج، وسوف يعانق السعودي أخاه في المغرب. وما تبقى هذه الحوادث إلا أسطورة في التاريخ نجعلها عبرة للمستقبل إن شاء الله. إني أرى أخي العربي المسيحي في لبنان يعانق أخاها المسلم، فقوميتنا من حديد ومصيرنا واحد. إن المسيح مسيحنا علم التسامح، علم الحب والإخلاص، وعلمنا الإسلام التمسك والصبر والتآخي. فأنا عربي وسأظل عربيا. فأنا عربي وسأظل عربيا مخلصا ووفيا لأمة العربية، من مصر إلى السعودية، للجزائر وتونس والعراق وسوريا. اللهم نسألك يا رب أن تحفظ أوطاننا من كل شر وسوء. اللهم يا رب وحد قلوبنا واشرح صدورنا واجعل منا عبادا صالحين. اللهم ربي اجعل من ضعفنا قوة ومن خصامنا محبة. نسألك يا ربي أن تنير طريق ملوكنا ورؤسائنا لما فيه خير أمتنا العربية الحبيبة والإنسانية جمعاء. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to be a little emotional, can't help it. It is my honor, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm sure y'all are eager to hear what Dr. Maqsood have to say. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you one of the finest gentlemen the Arab community has to offer. Dr. Khabis Maqsood is a very well-known personality all over the Arab world. He has been fighting and standing for the rights of all the Arabs from Morocco all the way to the Gulf. For the last 20 years of his life, he has been serving on the Arab League of States for 20 years. He is actually the ambassador of the Arab League of States to Washington and to the UN. Please, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Maqsood.
Assalamu alaikum. After this emotional articulation of the hopes and sufferings of the Arab people, I don't have much else to say except to respond in kind to the president of ADC, who has manifested the urgings and the agonies of a large number of people in this period of crisis. But your coming together tonight represents what the Arab American community is all about. A community that transcends sectarian and communal and regional loyalties in order to draw from our common heritage, our cultural resilience, the capacity to overcome. And in that respect, it is important that we rediscover the factors that unite us in order that we can confront the elements that divide us. It is this challenge that has rendered ADC the ABC of Arab Americanism. And that is why I salute the ADC chapter in San Antonio and the ADC on a national level. They have focused throughout the last 10 years of their existence on a central issue. That the Arab is equal to anybody else in the world community, and that equality has been. ADC has also focused on the fact that Arab culture is not a rigid civilization, that it has a resilience to adapt, to contribute, to evolve, and to contribute to evolution. It is a heritage that can take from others with dignity, because it can give to others with generosity. That respect, the sufferings that we go through is in a way a baptism of blood. In a way, if we take the Christian mythology and doctrine, it is the crucifixion that is the beginning, but it is the rebirth that is the end. The Arabs have been crucified, partly by others, partly by themselves. And they go through a period of suffering this crucifixion. But their rebirth is inevitable. But let us not allow our wishful thinking to take over from self-analysis. Let us not have our civilizational gratification take precedence on the need for self-criticism. And only a nation, a culture, deserves to advertise its achievements if it knows how to correct its mistakes. We have for too long sought to advertise our accomplishments, but we glossed over many of our failures. Greatness in a human society is measured by the boldness with which we face our problems by the overflow of the gift that the inner calm in our spirit can provide. That is the definition of the Arab. And therefore, we meet tonight in a grave situation, bordering on a disaster. Bordering, but we will not allow it to go through. And that is why, if we focus on the immediate issue today, we have to put it in the broader context. We have seen in the last year how Europe has begun to provide opportunities for human participation in the decision-making processes. Old dogmas have given way to principled positions. Autocratic regimes had to open up in order to accommodate popular participation. There has been a liberalizing process in what used to be suppressive regimes. We welcome that inasmuch as it augured a broad understanding between the two superpowers, therefore relaxing international tension, removing the possibilities of crisis areas developing into conflicting trends. It was a development which we felt that would lead to disarmament on the part of the two superpowers, and therefore gauge that surplus of investment and capital formation in helping expedite the processes of development, modernization, and transformation in the developing countries. Yet, this situation has been arrested. We have seen how the great countries, the big countries, in consortium with each other, sought to dictate the agenda for the developing countries of the south part of the globe. We have seen how, when they agree, we have to conform. We have seen how our priorities have been marginalized, while the priorities of the two superpowers have been reascertained. And in view of this easing of the East and West, a welcome development, as I have stated, we have seen how now the North and the South, the northern part of the globe, Europe, the United States, Soviet Union, the industrial, technologically advanced world, has set its priorities and the agenda for the 90s to be determined, and we had to be excluded from making not only the history of the globe, but to make even our own history. In a way, the Arabs and the people of the South were disfranchised from self-determination in its broader context. This is an important fact which leads to greater frustrations. 1 year ago, we anticipated that disarmament would lead to development. Now, our countries are beginning to be the dumping ground for the armament industries, where the Rutman Act had to cut and the peace dividend in the United States had to be arrested, and the industrial military complex revived itself because we are willing and eager to buy the arms. Do we need them? That is the question. This crisis in the Gulf has brought into focus many realities which we have not discussed earlier. The Palestinian uprising for the last 3 years has been sustaining itself. In Beit Sahur, civil disobedience remains until today. People in Gaza, people in Nablus,